Hello everyone, welcome to Publish Prime. Today we will be looking at how to create a KDP book cover which is 6 by 9 in the trim size. So the first rule of thumb is always before deciding on your KDP book cover, make sure that you know the number of pages, which is page count, and always use the KDP cover designer or the cover calculator to be precise, because it has these number of pages. This is very important. If you even add an extra page, sometimes these margins or these numbers actually change. You may think that it won't matter by just one single page, but when you upload it to the KDP, it will say that your cover size needs to be this much and you have uploaded a cover which is of this much size. So that's the reason. If you follow these two steps properly, it will be very easy, and every single time whenever you create a cover, you will be more confident and it won't be like rejected, or it will allow you to approve the cover. So let's get started. We will be using Canva to create the cover, the sample cover. And before that, make sure that you understand these things, which is forget the bleed. If you are not creating a book which has images, you can forget the bleed altogether. Always concentrate directly on, because by bleed I mean this one, the rightmost picture and the right part of that picture, which is you are extending the images on the edges of the book. Then and only then you require the bleed, else you will never require the bleed. So now let's go and figure out without bleed what our book size or page size should be. So it is 6 by 9 for it. So we'll go to Canva and create a 6 by 9 page. And once the page is done, we need margins which are specified here. So for a book from 24 pages to 150 pages, the inside margin, which is this part, it should be 0.375, which is this part exactly, and outside margins are all the remaining ones, which is the top, right, and the bottom. That's the reason they are called outside margins, and this one is called gutter or inside margin. So they need to be at least 0.25. They can go beyond this, but they need to be at least 0.25. So this is how you should set up your page. So just for the example's sake, I'll go to Canva and I'll create a book for 6 by 9, and let me go to custom size. I will change this to inches, and then I'll give the width as 6 by 9. It's always whenever we pronounce something, it's always the width first and the height second. So now this is the book created. Now, as I told you, let me reference it here. So I've created the book. I'm going to create it without bleed. As I said, you can forget the bleed. I hope I'm not confusing you. So 6 by 9 is the size, and based on that our book is say 300 page our book is say 100 pages, for example, or 149 pages. We will have the inside margins as 0.375. so inside margin is on the left one, this one is the inside margin. So let me create it. So in Canva the margins may not be visible. You can either press Shift R, so it makes this markers visible, or you can go to File, Settings, and then Show Margins should be ticked, and Show Rulers and Guides should be ticked as well. So this is how you will be able to see the ruler or the margin calculator. So now when you drag the margin from here till here, exactly on the edge it will be 0, and as I said, here we need 0.375, so we can go till 0.80 or 0.90, but it needs to be more than 0.375. so I'm happy with the 0.391, and at the top we need at least 0.25, so drag it till here first. So you can see on the leftmost corner you will see 0.000, which is exactly on the edge of the book. Now we need, from there we require 0.25 at least. So we are on 1. Now we need 0.20, 22 and 0.251. So I have this now. So what do we do now is you can either go to elements and grab a square from there and zoom in a bit and get the square at the top. This is the easiest way to create the margins which are equidistant from all the sides. That's the reason we do this step. And you need to drag this exactly like this, so the reading that says 3.91, 0.391 and 0.251. So once you have this, you can duplicate this by selecting the object and pressing Ctrl D, because we need to draw other margins as well. And we can drag this here and put it exactly on the edge here. Once you put it on the edge, now blindly you can pull the vertical margin as well as the horizontal margin, and this is how you have the perfect page. Now before you do anything, just go to file again, go to settings, and then here select there is a locking thing, yeah, lock guides. So these won't move, these lines which we have drawn, they won't move. Fine. And now you can delete the squares which you have selected. So this is how you do it. So now, just for the sake of our creation, I will just go and add some basic text, and I will download it from Lorem Ipsum, and just to give you the feel of the book, always center it, and then we'll add text, and we'll just paste that text here. And this is the reason I asked you to lock the margins, because what happens once you start working with images and elements, it's just sometimes you just grab the margin by mistake and you come to know it quite a bit later, and till then the damage is already done. So this is the page which we are aiming for. And if you see in Canva, there is one more thing. Canva on its own, I mean, adds these margins which you can see right now. You don't see them right now, they are dotted right now, but when I move my cursor or the element, it shows that you're going out of the margin. We are not concerned about those margins. That's the reason we drew our own, because these are based on KDP specifications, and the margins which Canva show are the absolute margins, wherein you cannot ever make a mistake of creating an incorrect margin, or not incorrect margin, but to let the text or any element go outside the margin. So the rule of thumb is you don't worry about the Canva margins when you have your own margins defined for KDP. That's it. So now I'll just duplicate this page. 24 pages is minimum. So how many pages do we have is 36. So let's roll with this. I'll export it as print PDF. Please understand, I'm not including crop, marks and bleed, because this is the book. I'm just using flatten PDF and I'm using CMYK. Please understand, these are the pages of a book, and I'm not selecting crop, marks and bleed. I'll download it immediately. And in the meanwhile, we will go to the cover calculator over here. We'll put in our binding type as paperback, black and white. Paper type is white paper. Direction remains the same. Measure in inches. And the book size is 6 by 9. This is very important step, because no matter how easy and silly it seems, I have made many times I've made a mistake of selecting a different one and then creating the cover, and then resizing it is a mess. And how many pages do we have? We have 36 pages. Now please understand, these pages are a complete count of your actual pages. It is not the content of your pages, but the copyright page, the author page, the welcome page, or the preface page, or the ending marketing page, wherein you have, like, you can also read these books. Every single page is involved in this. Okay, so now I've put in all the things correctly. I'll click calculate dimensions. Now you just have to worry about these two figures, as I always say, because I've like bled a lot to understand these things. That's the reason I keep repeating myself. So just worry about this figure, which is full cover, and the width is 12.331. We'll just copy it. We'll save our book here, and now we will go to Canva home again. We'll click custom size. We'll paste the width here and the height. I forgot to change it to inches. And now see, even I make mistakes even now. And this is 9.25 in height. Create a new design, and now you have your cover. Now for the cover, the safe area or the bleed or the margin, you have to, next thing is worry about the margin. it is 0.125. So without worrying about all those things, click on download template. This is a much easier approach without worrying about anything, and it gives you a file which is a zip. Just extract that or open that zip file, and you'll have an image in there which you have to use. So I'll just go here, I'll drag that image here, and once it is there, you just take it on the left top corner, and from there drag diagonally at the very bottom. And you don't have to stretch it in other ways like this. You always have to drag it diagonally, and this is how you know that your cover is going to be perfect. Now even if you don't draw the margins, your book cover is going to be perfect because you have these reference pink lines. So the rule of thumb here is always keep all your elements which cannot be cut down at the very center. So let me show you. So I'll add a heading. Before that, we'll just like reduce the transparency, and then we'll add a text, and we'll go for heading, subheading of my book, testing is life. I cannot spell testing correctly today. Here we have done that, and say we want some image or element. Let's go for something like, just let's search life. Let's see what graphics do we have. This is good. So we have this over here, and now we add something more here. This looks quite good. Let's keep it a bit real. So just center it enough, and please understand this is an image. So for example, I want this image to be bigger. So now if you imagine this, how this will look when the book is printed, the image will be starting from the edge of the cover. And if you don't want it like that, you can reduce it to exactly this and make sure it falls inside the pink line from the inside. That's it, and you will have the perfect cover. If you go beyond this, it will be cut from here. So keep it like this, and just now I will tell you which images can go beyond those borders and it won't affect your book cover's final look. So sale badge, and we'll get this one, and we have edition numbers or something, we can put it here, and I will just duplicate this and put it over here, and I will just reduce the size a bit. Let's make it 25 and the color to white. So this is how the page is. Now whether my text is going to be cut or not, yes, it is going to be cut because the pink line is here and it approximately passes intersecting the letter G. So you have to make sure that you follow this, and if you are confused about this, how do you push it behind, you select the element which is this, you select this element which is the badge, and then press Ctrl and the square bracket, the left or the opening square bracket, or you can right click and you can select layer, send backward or send to back. So if you say send backward, it shows you whether the line is going to miss the text or not, because the G was somewhere here. So put it here, and we'll write volume 1, and now you can play with it how much you want it zoomed in or how much bigger of a text you want. So this is the maximum text you can have, you cannot go beyond this for the aesthetics as well. So somewhere here is good. So these are the elements which can go beyond the book and they won't have any effect, and they would be looking good and be the perfect combination for the book cover. And we'll just increase the size a bit and put the title here. And now for the back cover, which is the back side, say we have a blob of text. Let me copy the blob of text from here, this same one, and I'll put in text. Say this is the author's uh, text or something. This text needs to be 12 because the book is going to be huge. I mean, in terms of when you have it in hand, it is quite bigger compared to this thing. And no need of bold text, so remove that as well. And again, please note that I've kept this inside the pink margins from both the sides. So this is how you do it. And if at all you have to put anything at the bottom, for example here, so you have to put, again make sure that you are not overriding this barcode thing, because if you put it like this, it will vanish and the barcode will be printed above this. Of course, Amazon gives you the warning that you're covering the barcode or something like that, but yeah. So media, so publish prime prints, for example, if you want to keep this, you can put it here. And if you want it to be professional like the actual books, you can keep it here and reduce the size to 12 or 10 as well is good, because publication names are not that much marketed as such. So now we are done with our book cover. A very important step is the final check is check all the corners, check all the things, and now select in this white area which is our actual back cover and delete it. Now I'll just add a bit of color to this, so that when the book is actually live, you will come to know that what margins were and what things we were talking about. Okay, so now this is how the book cover is completed. Now we are on the last step of getting the cover completed. You will select PDF print. You will make sure you will take the crop marks and bleed. If you don't do this, your final cover which is downloaded as PDF will give you an error on the Amazon KDP interface. And then flatten the PDF. RGB is good. I have the pro version, so I'm using CMYK. I'll download the cover, edit one existing book. So this is one of my test books. Let me continue to the setup. So here I can change the book, select a different size. We have 6:9, which is a standard size, and we have no bleed, and we need the cover as gloss or massy, glossy or matte. And now let me upload the manuscript, which is the testing page. This is our manuscript. So this way you will come to know a complete way of creating and uploading a book cover which is 6:9, and you won't make any mistakes, because it's very frustrating, because the Amazon UI is also very frustrating. Here we have to upload our own cover. So we'll select upload your own cover, upload your cover file. This is our cover file. So let's select that, and I'll check this and I'll launch the previewer. And there you are, you have the perfect book cover which is not missing any mark. And this is what I was talking about on the right top corner. Even if the image gets cut out, you will have a lot of space. And the reason I have kept the volume at a very odd place is because I wanted to make you understand that even if you're designing the book here, for example here it looks good, but you miss the point that it is going to get cut from somewhere here. So that's the reason, to make it, you can imagine that it will have a very small margin at the top, small empty space at the top, which will make it look a bit weird. This is what I'm talking about. It will make it look a bit weird. So you just have to pull this a bit down, and this is how you should think while creating the cover. Again, I left the publish prime for a reason at a very odd spot, so that you come to understand that how the final outcome looks when it is going to be printed. So based on this, now you understand that you just have to put it a bit below. So if you understand these things properly, you will have a perfect cover every single time. Let's go through the pages, and here you can see we have the perfect pages with no problems at all. And once I approve, we will have our book ready for Amazon publishing. So that's it, guys. I hope the video will help you. If you have any questions or if you need any more information, please let me know. I'll create a video for it, or you can put it in the comments. I'll try to answer it. Thank you for watching.